Hello, everybody. And by everybody, I mean the two people watching, one of whom is me moderating, I think. Not totally sure how that works.
It's fine.
Don't know if I have don't know if when I have the moderating menu open, that shows up as a viewer.
We've only been streaming on Twitch for like 6 full months, twice a week.
Listen, in my defense, I have not bothered to read the FAQ for streaming.
One of which is also me, because I like to watch the comments. I can't on.
Oh, Barnaby's here.
Oh, hello.
Great to see you. Oh, Jesus Christ. I was also trying to like simultaneously do the thing of opening my Twitch and then putting the host in. There we go.
Barnaby, I just made you a mod.
Hell yeah.
All right, so tonight we are talking about TikTok news. We've got an Airtable full of news stories, and we're just going to get through as many of them as we can. First up,
start most recent.
Yeah, I was just going to go chronologically down from the top. First up on the list is Irish Times reporting that TikTok is planning to hire 1,500 new people in their Irish branch on top of the existing 2,000 workers, so almost doubling the Irish office.
I mean, we do know from, it's wild to say this, we do know from our Irish contacts, of which we have one at least, that a lot of stuff that they are doing in TikTok Ireland is experimental. They're kind of the place where it's a small enough market that they're not really worried about things breaking quite as much as they are with like TikTok US. So we knew that's where they roll out new ideas and see if they work. And if they don't work, they roll it back. But we also know that's where they handle a lot of content moderation for the English speaking world, as is true of a lot of social, I mean, like Facebook runs a lot of its English speaking moderation out of Ireland as well. So potentially good. That could, I'm very optimistic today, I guess. But that is potentially good information. That's good news. Maybe.
Whoop, wrong button.
Watson. I was like, it's good news. And it really felt like you were about to be like, do not listen to this woman.
Yeah.
No, speaking of optimism, some terrible news. TikTok is experimenting with rolling out 5-minute video.
I know. Oh God, I saw that.
Will I be the first big fucking hypocrite to use it? Yes. Am I disgusted by the idea in this moment? Yes. The fact that I can whip out like 3-minute videos in under an hour, like nothing, but I can't edit a 15-minute YouTube video without absolutely losing my mind and having to walk away from it and like not being able to do it and being stressed out by it. I know for a fact I will make if it rolls out, I will make a stupid 5-minute TikTok. No one will watch it all the way through. It will be for me. Yeah. And I will make probably enough of those that at a certain point I will say I could have made a YouTube video in that time.
Yeah, when I first got started on TikTok, I was segueing from doing monthly videos on YouTube, and I did very quickly find that like 31-minute videos a week, or 1-minute videos a month on TikTok was about the same amount of work.
But it's just spread out different.
Yeah, it's in one sense, it's much easier to just like only have to make 60 seconds of idea at a time. In another sense, I guess I'd be fucked either way because I'm kind of out of ideas right now.
I realized at a certain point that it didn't make sense for me to not be making YouTube. Yeah, I will immediately do that. My brain is in a very weird space right now, and that's okay. But I realized at a certain point that I was doing I did like a 7-part series on My Immortal, and I was like, that's 7 full minutes of video that I have just put together and scripted and edited. Why did I do that? Why was I ever doing that? It just, the line between what's manageable and what's not is so strange for me. And I know no one's going to watch 5-minute videos. Everyone already struggles with 3-minute videos. I have to put a warning. I put a content warning at the top that just says this video is 3 minutes long. And people thank me for that because they can like at least set their expectation. But the Snape Wives video, I did not put a warning that people saw. It got buried by the text.
Here's the thing. 2 hours and 3 minutes are very different lengths of time. 3 minutes is an exhausting amount of video to commit to while scrolling through TikTok. 2 hours is great to put on in the background so that you don't have to think about changing the video while you play Stardew Valley. That's why I watch so much SCP lore videos.
Oh my god.
And like it depends so much on what the content is. Because, and again, I don't quite know how I got onto readings of quality Am I the Asshole content, but it's all over the place. I'm like, 3 minutes is not enough.
I clicked on one person's profile to watch a part 2 of an Am I the Asshole video, and now I get them all the time, and I'm so mad about it.
I'm sorry.
I hate them. They're bad.
I'm sorry.
I'm thinking about just blocking the creator that keeps popping up.
You might have to.
Yes.
I get into like if it falls in my weird spectrum of interests,
Mm-hmm.
I will sit there and watch the whole thing. And I actually kind of like the 3-minute videos that I get.
Elect Cecilia for Millennial Aeon Flux.
Listen.
Although, and like, not to potentially put you in the hot seat, but if it happens to be Jonathan Moss, he is switching up his content. He just put out like a new weekly schedule. One day a week is Am I the Asshole readings. Another day is like spooky stories. Another day is relationship drama. And I forgot what the other ones were because I'm not super interested in them, of course.
So
I
much
have no idea who Jonathan Moss is.
I think if you saw his face, you would know exactly who he is.
Yeah.
But
It was Chef John made a video on his side to his side. I don't know how.
I know.
John has so many side accounts because people keep finding him.
Because he made that one because he's like, okay, well, I have a side account just in case, and he's like, too many of you assholes found me,
and
I love you.
Yeah, but so John and
he's
like we
got the
ended up
second
having
one.
like a little conversation about it after. He was like, I feel like I'm so done with YouTube because YouTube is pushing videos of a certain length so they can cram as many ad breaks in as is feasible. But then you get into this place where people are just saying words to say words, and it's like people meeting that minimum word requirement on their essays, but you have to listen to it. But at the same time, the longer videos on TikTok don't get traction because it is a short form video platform. And where is the happy place? What I don't understand why people feel weird about like 10 to 15 minute YouTube videos. I don't. I'm okay with it. Sometimes I just need a little bit, just a little update on something, one little short thing, and that's fine. And that's okay. And we don't always, not every subject has to be covered in like 3-hour depth. Sarah Z's video on shipping wars was absolutely the like 1.5 hour long video that I needed. So not everything has to be that long.
I love Sarah Z. I don't watch all of her videos. Sometimes it's just too long to stay in that topic.
I
feel the same way about Jenny Nicholson. Like
I am
she's amazing. I'm so glad she does what she does. By the way, did you see she has a TikTok now?
What?
I
can't. I'm live on TikTok. I can't go follow.
She just shows off her stuffed animals. Her face isn't in it. You can only tell because the username has the word Jenny in it, and it's definitely her voice.
I really appreciate content creators that understand that not every platform is going to be the same kind of space, and you can't put the same shit on all of your platforms.
Can you fucking imagine Jenny Nicholson trying to do 2-hour-long videos on TikTok?
In 3-minute increments. You get a daily 3-minute update on what will, at the end of the month, be a long enough video for it to be on YouTube.
Although weirdly, this now makes me think of that one person who I didn't follow him, but his content was being pushed so much because he was trying to go for like the longest record streak for being on live. And he was like live for like over 2 weeks or something. This was like a year ago now at this point. But I wish I could remember that guy's name too, because when we talk about the length, situation to know that there's even one person like sleeping, awake, everything for like 2 weeks straight, and some people would like watch as much of that content as they could, and I can't. I'm like, it's like the Truman Show.
You can no longer sleep on live. Not allowed.
Thank goodness. Okay, he's probably the reason why.
He stayed live for 2 straight weeks.
Like, have you guys gotten the pool ball treadmill race lives?
Yes.
I keep getting stuck. Just like, I don't want to click on them because I don't want to tell TikTok that I like them, but I keep just like getting stuck on the "Would you like to join this live" screen, watching them for like 15 minutes.
I want to know which ball wins. I don't want to commit to TikTok knowing that I want to know which ball wins, but I am extremely committed to knowing which ball wins. Last night, I was graced with perhaps my favorite live that I've ever been graced with, which was a man in a Sasquatch costume playing the saxophone live.
My friend John, my nemesis John, just got a new Jamboard, and apparently he's having some success getting new attention playing with that on his videos. And I'm really hoping he hits 1,000 because I want to go live with him so bad because he's figured out how to like rig his audio up so that plugging his aux cord into his phone thinks his whole room's recording equipment setup is his mic.
Fuck yes. It's
amazing.
I want to have a conversation. I want to know.
I can set that up. I'm sure John would love to talk to you.
I would fucking love that because I just need to. Every day my mother calls me because she retired this year. Every day my mother calls me and she's like, "Hey, so I have this like beat up to shit piece of sound equipment." And I'm like, I have nowhere to put it and nothing to hook it up to and no way to actually use this. But do I want it next time I come visit? Absolutely. Put it in a bag for me. I will bring it home. I have a soundboard. In my closet. It's like an 8-channel. It's not anything.
Oh no.
But like I now have like 4 Shure mics and a soundboard and like all of it. Listen, Micah, shut up. This I have as well as like a decent speaker now because we didn't have decent speakers before. And like I'm just sitting here like, how do I abuse this for stupid reasons? Because that's the only like way I've ever used any sound equipment in any application is like, how do I? And I just feel like your nemesis could enable me, and I really want that.
I have DM'd them to ask if they can come and join us in chat.
I would love that.
Anyway. But while we wait to hear back from them, I do want to jump back to, we were talking earlier about the interplay between YouTube and TikTok. And I wanted to share, and this is probably the least credible source we've got apart from TikTok's own newsroom on our menu tonight. But The Hollywood Reporter put out an article about TikTok creators turning to YouTube Shorts because they're experiencing, quote, insane subscriber growth.
I mean, is YouTube pushing it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind. I've seen firsthand a couple of people who are like, yeah, it just exploded all of a sudden. But like, is it an insane growth? Listen, do I have the energy to do that? Or
in what sense is Cecilia's whole account not a spoof of Inside?
It has been for many years before Inside even happened. It was already getting there.
So you're the prequel. Got it.
I'm the prequel.
I mean, I've been saying for a while that Bo Burnham made a very good ContraPoints video.
You've said that to me, I think 3 times, and every time it hits me just as hard as
It's a really good joke. I wish I'd had the courage to say it on TikTok when it was popular.
The Bo Burnham stands would come for you.
Mm.
God, they're mean. Why are they so mean? Anyway, doesn't matter, does it? So, I mean, like, have I seen like the growth on YouTube Shorts? Yeah. I've also seen more people, I think because YouTube made that policy, which I think, again, I've said it before, it's a smart policy on YouTube's part, that you can't have your shorts watermarked from another app. It has to be made for YouTube. people took that to heart. They've been putting shorts out, and now they're monetized. Can you chill out?
Yeah, no, I just started setting up a new YouTube account for like DX Watson Shorts because I don't want to just flood my other account with it. I don't necessarily want to bring over the subscribers who remember me from when I was trying to be a left tuber. But I do kind of feel like making my whiteboard videos, posting them on YouTube, and then posting them on TikTok later would be a better use of my time.
Yeah, genuinely. I'm kind of the opinion that if you have the ability to shoot and edit outside of the app, outside of TikTok, now is a good time to start doing that, because then you can upload it to Reels, you can upload it to YouTube, and then you can upload it to TikTok after, and it can put whatever stupid goddamn watermark it wants on it. Because then you've got the content on the other platforms. Instagram is not even checking for the watermark. Instagram doesn't care. Instagram, I love the ethos of the two companies. Google's being like, it has to be original content, and Facebook's like, upload whatever the fuck you want. You got a meme for us? Will that bring us money? Great, come on in. Like, they just don't care.
I still, honestly though, it's like because it's just immediately where my mind goes to it. It's because of the moderation tactics, the ethics behind it. Well, if you allow people to put the watermark stuff up, you know exactly where they freaking got it from. So if somebody makes a copyright violation or something, you just be like, well, look at that. The watermark is not their own. It's this person's who's making and then you just know. Versus you can say, well, there's no watermark on it.
And there are a couple of apps that'll take off the TikTok watermark. Again, the
I heard about that too, and I'd never heard about that before recently.
Yeah, it's a little bit newer. YouTube is getting to be pretty fed up with people just stealing and re-uploading TikToks into compilations. Because while they get a lot of views, they also get taken down a lot. And so I just get the sense that they drew the line in the sand and they're done with it. Instagram still kind of runs like, this is where you talk to your friends, even though it's not anymore. Like, is anyone using Instagram for fun at this point? No, I'm there because I have to be. I hate it. I absolutely hate Instagram. Much like I hate Facebook, and my app logged me out. I still haven't logged back in. It's been like a month and a half.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm still logged into Messenger. All right, they can get in touch with
me. Same. My dad was asking me about that the other day too. He's like, you never post anything anymore. I'm like, I've moved on. I've evolved. Have you heard of Discord and like everything else on the internet? He's like, well, but we still message. And I'm like, yeah, because it's a different app, even though it's the same platform. So just get used to it. Also, Messenger from texting is not messaging from Facebook. You can't tell the difference. But that's okay.
I think looking at the way that the people I know who use Instagram effectively use Instagram, I think I'm too guarded to use that platform effectively.
Is it because you have to have like you have to like caption it, and then you have to have a paragraph about why it's like emotionally significant that you took that picture?
No, because people just like share their thoughts as they're thinking them.
What the fuck is that like?
Like, okay, so
every single thing I've ever said on TikTok has been workshopped in at least one other venue before it goes up.
Yeah, see, exactly. Yeah. Like, I check like 4 people's stories on TikToks on Instagram, and one of them is Tess Gattuso, and her TikToks are incredibly like well constructed, scripted, costume changes, elaborate cuts, musical cues. Her stories are like most people's TikToks, and like I can't do that.
I'm tired. Micah says, "Isn't that just Twitter?" Yeah.
I also just privated my Twitter earlier today. I responded to something that Lolly said, and I was like, I don't want any new people to be able to see that I said that. And it's like not even a big deal. Like, it's it's just me saying I don't like the word leftist, and I'm like, I don't want this to go viral on Twitter.
I can't. The implications are too huge. I can't fucking deal with it. No,
hey, I don't call myself a leftist anymore because the word has problems. Did you know TX Watson came out as a fascist on Twitter?
I know.
You know that would be the fucking,
God.
that would be the thing that it would get taken out of context as. You fucking know it would be, and then someone would
yes,
it would be a huge fucking problem, and then all of a sudden someone would go back and get the context of the tweet and be like, actually, did you know that TX Watson is not a fascist? And we would have to go through that whole cycle.
Yeah, I started using TikTok because I got fed up with Twitter. One day in May last year, I know it was May because I started using TikTok in June. There was some new drama on like the leftist Twitter space because somebody had come up with a hypothetical situation in which it would be like, I think they were arguing for a situation in which hypothetically it wouldn't be appropriate to fire a TERF over their values. And a bunch of people interpreted that hypothetical, which did not correspond to an actual reality, as though the fictional TERF were presenting their position and describing their position in bad faith and actually meant something else. And we're trying to cancel the person who'd written the hypothetical over that. And so I just started... I started muting everybody who was talking about it. After about a half an hour of that, I realized I'd muted almost everybody I followed. So I deleted the app off my phone. And then about 3 days later, I couldn't live with just being alone with my thoughts. So I installed TikTok.
Yeah. This is why it's the only social media that I interact with significantly outside of TikTok and YouTube. And that's just like viewing things for the most part, is Tumblr, because it's just only the finest shit posts at this point. All I want to do is reblog weird things about Christ's side wound because I think it's funny.
Side
wound. I didn't grow up Catholic, is I don't have any qualms about it. I think side wound summer is one of the funniest things that Tumblr's ever come up with. I think I want to do that, and I want to reblog classic posts that make my brain scream. I have lined up for September 1st for midnight. It's September, time to spring your jorts back into jants, because that's all I'm going to think about for a full fucking month. Tumblr is not where I go to think. Tumblr is that's all I do on Tumblr. It's just, I don't think I've posted anything on Tumblr in years. It's just reblogging. I'm just a curator of fine shit posts. That's all. I can't do it. Like Twitter, I can't handle too much. Frightening. Instagram feels stupid, and Facebook is full of, at this point, people that are my age who are still using Facebook are desperately trying to pull other people my age who are still using Facebook out of anti-vaxxer circles and QAnon shit, and I can't sit there and watch it because I don't know the people that they're arguing with. I've never met them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've picked which social medias are my job. They are TikTok and Discord. I'm not doing any more.
It's like Twitter was so great for 6 months. Seriously, the first 6 months were glorious.
That was not my experience of Twitter.
And then all the bots came, and all this weird stuff came, and Micah was talking about earlier with the creepy people sliding into DMs all the time too, and I'm just kind of oh God, a live journal. God, I haven't thought about that one in a minute.
I have one good experience of Twitter, and it's from back when Twitter just sent you texts to your phone. And it wasn't even a text to me. My friend got a tweet that led to a really fun night.
Yeah.
It's so yeah. Fucking live journal. Jesus Christ. That's where the sin was. If you were in fandom spaces, that's where the sin pit was. If you needed to go, because fanfiction.net for a long time you were not allowed to post explicit smut.
Yep.
That's where the sin was. If you needed that, it was. I had a friend tell me oh my God, I just started this fic. Thank you.
Thank
I
you
had a
for
friend
your
tell me, like,
service.
oh my God, I just started this fic and it's really, really good. And I was like, oh, can you send me the link? And she was like, well, it's on LiveJournal and it hasn't gotten any like weird yet. And I was like, we are 13. I feel like you should get off before you get to the part where you're like, this is sketchy and I need to leave.
Yeah.
That was like my entire experience with LiveJournal. But I then ended up deep into like the LiveJournal fandom communities because I found out about Snape Wives and I was like, I need to know more. Weird spaces. I just miss these like weird little niche spaces where the internet was upsettingly strange.
It's like it's temporal estuary between like bulletin boards and the consolidated branded internet.
Yes.
That was just a good place for content to thrive.
Yeah.
And it's like that time and space too. It was just because so many like message boards at that time too, like all of them had like limits. So you had to either keep like cutting and running and moving on to other stuff too. And that was one of those reasons that people kept jumping to other stuff. And like for a lot of these bigger platforms, you don't actually need to jump to other stuff anymore because everything is infinite.
Yeah.
So now we have this weird thing of people overstaying their welcome. And now what do we do? And it's just a lot of people just don't know how to deal with all of that. And it's like, I'm just old enough that like I did not really experience the internet in my teen years. Because it was like when all of this was really starting to come out, I had just turned 20, I was in college, and like there were other things that existed. I just wasn't privy to them until that time in my life. And then just all of a sudden, all of this other stuff is here. And then my parents discovered the internet too, because before that time, before Facebook like went public, they were like, you cannot believe anything you read on the internet. And now they're coming to me all the time with like, oh, did you hear about this? Yeah, where'd you get it from? Facebook? And I'm like, cool, it's trash information.
The fuck happened to my parents from the point where they found out that like I was like engaging with people on message boards where they're like, you can't trust anyone on the internet. And I was like, the only people here are people I know from school. And now being like, so I saw this post on Facebook and I can't tell if it's real and I have to go verify the data for them.
Yes.
And it's always fake.
Yes.
I would love to bring up that you can't catfish people properly anymore. That is the worst thing to bemoan. Kids are always going to lie on the internet. They're always
too many people know how to use Google reverse image search.
Too many people know how to do it now.
Yeah, too many people ruined a good thing, therefore they ruined all the other good things. It's just a whole domino effect.
Like I
would argue that catfishing was not a good thing.
So, in terms
believe me.
No, but here's the thing. It's not like there's the problem of like the last time I got like good and properly catfished, right? And I didn't even find out until like a couple of months ago when I like got in touch with an old friend of mine, was when I was in a Harry Potter Facebook group and the girl running it was pretending to be Maori and a lesbian, and turns out that in the last year she was found to be a neo-Nazi infiltrating a far-right party in Australia. Like, I got good in catfish. Like, she was a lot always. She was one of those people who like jokingly used like mudblood as like a real life insult, so you knew something was up. And those people were all over fandom spaces, and apparently she was dog whistling. I didn't hear it because I didn't know what was going on.
You do not have to call me out like this in public.
that is like, so like before catfishing was like really like popularized and everything, I just assumed every single person that I met on the internet was a 13-year-old child, and I still do it. Just to be safe. I assume everybody is a minor until proven otherwise, like in real life. Like I have to look you in the white of your eyes and see your ID to know that you're like at least 21 or older. And even then, maybe not, because I've had that happen too many times. I had 5 friends.
Joy in being able to like assume an identity online, and we are all assuming identities online.
Oh God, yeah.
Kind or another. Let's be very clear. But like the ability to be anonymous and not misuse that ability is kind of nice. It's a little bit. The fact that I have fan fiction out there that no one's ever going to know I wrote.
Yes.
Feels great. Is it well written? Absolutely not. I was like 14.
Oh, yeah, I've got so many fake accounts just scattered around on the internet for little weird things. I just started a new Twitter a couple days ago that's just for like the sentences that pop into my head that I'm like, I would love to put this in something. I'm not going to get around to it.
Honestly, I have a Tumblr that's literally just like prompts to things that I started writing. It was like, first it was like blog post ideas, and I would just like note them. And now it's been around. Like I've had this like side blog somewhere out on the internet for like 8 years, and it's just like one blurb at a time, and none of the blurbs make any sense. And I can't make any sense of them, but I just wanted to put them out into the world so I wouldn't forget.
That's like
a problem on my alt account on TikTok for a little while where I had just a couple of comments on friends' posts that were like really successful. And so I started getting a bunch of people trying to follow that account. And I just I had to delete the comments eventually.
There's too many people who consume them.
It's like I don't need somebody like deciding to take these 3 comments and perform like a syntax regression fucking algorithm thing on this and just like TikTokers' popular syntax decisions.
No.
It was like that was one of those things too, backpedaling ever so slightly, but still with this, I needed someone to like explain to me that it was okay to just like make alt accounts and like do that kind of thing. Because again, growing up, like your whole identity just needed to be your whole identity. You couldn't just like pretend like it was Halloween any day of the week, you know? Like, and like
you should have like 40 people are like fractured identities.
Yes.
The internet is for cultivating dissociative disorders.
And I was just kind of like, oh my God, finally people who understand me. And I never could like put, you know, like a finger on it. Like, oh God.
Anyway. I was like one thing Bo Burnham nailed that I hadn't really thought about before.
Hey Watson, can you shut the fuck up? I don't need to hear about my own problems on live like this. That truly is like, that was one of the lines that absolutely hit me like right upside the head. I was like, oh no, I didn't need to hear that.
Dissociation, hating what you find.
That and the things that have stuck with me from inside are that line, a couple of others, and also that line when he's doing the video game version of being stuck in the room, and he goes, "I don't get it. Is the room small or is he like is he large?" Mm-hmm. And the fun part is he's both, because I've met the man and he's so frighteningly tall, coming from a tall person. I just think about that all the time. Like he specifically picked the smallest space possible because he's a fucking scarecrow. The attacks. It's not.
The line that I just can't stop thinking about is, you know those Al Gore memes? Just like
I mean, don't we like talk about them at your request like every week?
Memes now? You told me you wouldn't claim the Al Gore memes you made.
I was not going to say that I made them. I was just going to say, remember those Al Gore memes we saw?
I'm
I've
sorry
just been
that I
thinking a lot
outed
about the
you.
line, that unapparent summer air and early fall, the quiet comprehending of the ending of it all, has been like fucking me up for a couple weeks. Just because I remember, like, when I started at Hampshire in like 2015, the like, what's the word for the talk they give at the start of the semester for the new students?
No, fucking
Anyway, at that talk, the president was talking about, or one of the old people who've been involved in the school for a long time, because the president only been there for a couple of years. One of the people who've been involved for a long time was saying that he remembered like one of the first Hampshire that talk things, and looking out over the crowd where we were all like in t-shirts because it was hot, saying convocation. That's the word. Thank you. Saying, yeah, I remember the first convocation when we were all like everybody was out here in sweatshirts because it was like pretty cold because it was September, and he just like let that sink in for a second.
Thanks.
Like, remember when September was a cold month?
No. Not anymore. I'm choosing not. Because of when I moved down to the city, September has always been a summer month for us. And at a certain point, Nick came into, like maybe 2 days ago, Nick came into the bedroom and said, when will it not be summer anymore? I was like, it's summer through September. And he was like, no, it wasn't like this when I was a kid. And he walked out of the room like he didn't just like drop a bit of a bomb on me of like, right, he lived here and it wasn't always like this. He grew up here and it wasn't always like this.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I remember.
So do we want to talk about the news instead of the end of the fucking world? Because I'm already coming up on like a certain amount of dread because it's the 20th anniversary of September 11th, and I'm just gonna leave the internet for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. What is the next story? All I saw was your blurb that TikTok wants queer creators to commodify their identity for profit.
Sure, that one is The Verge. On TikTok, LGBTQ creators push back against sponsors who just want their identity. It's a lucrative opportunity many don't want to take. And this is talking about TikTok creators reporting on the fact that brands ask them to specifically incorporate their identity into the ads and like emphasize like their sexuality, their gender as a part of the product placement.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is not news about TikTok. This is news about like creator experience as professional TikTokers. Like, this isn't something the platform is doing. It's just something that like queer content creators are experiencing.
It is extra ironic in the context of the platform of TikTok being so openly okay with just like banning queer people left and right for being a little too queer.
Mm-hmm.
And advertisers being like, we want you to capitalize off of that.
Acceptably queer only.
No, it's like there is a socially acceptable version of being queer, and TikTok is fine with that. And the second you cross that line and you get a little too loud, TikTok is not cool with it. I didn't want to say white twinks out loud.
Yeah.
while we're here. But that's it's literally
that makes a lot of sense too, because I did not see that article before just now, but I had there's a creator, I think his name is Justin. I'm so terrible with names, but he had a sponsorship with Maybelline, and I saw that the LGBTQ hashtag was in it, and he didn't really talk about it, but I understand why he talked about, or why it was there, because he is a queer person, but he's not just like in your face queer about stuff.
But it's an ad.
One of the ads was for a dating.
But he's a boy who wears makeup, so
was for like a dating app that matched people based on their astrological signs. I think they knew what demographic they were going for.
They did. It's a little funny. But no, Micah is absolutely right. They're just trying. They don't know how to get into these micro communities. And to be fair, that is something that do I want ads on the app? No. Do I want people to make money? Yes. welcome to the fucking contradiction. Advertisers should be leveraging that. Advertisers should be going to creators that are popular within their own communities and saying, I trust you. You clearly have a knowledge base that I do not have. How do we work this out between us so that I'm satisfied with my product and you are satisfied with the reach that you're able to get within your community, and you make something that feels authentic to you.
Can you imagine advertisers putting in the effort to talk to creators about the content that they're going to put out?
Fucking imagine. They could barely but advertisers could barely talk to the union about paying union dues that they had to pay for the commercials that they were making. Like they would get me on the phone for like 5 minutes. I would be like, yeah, I think this is going to require you to pay extra money, and they would hang up and they wouldn't use the fucking song.
I feel like ad departments, like their whole resource package, like all of the resources that ad companies advertisers have within companies is like just spent on marketing their marketing plan to executives. Like I feel like advertisers don't have the resources to interact with the people they're advertising to or the people they're advertising with, because the people they're trying to convince to buy their ads are where all of their commercial attention goes.
Do you think so many car commercials have used Bonnie Tyler's Holding Out for a Hero? And I know exactly how many because it was a union track and I had to bill for it every single time. It was 3 in a single season. In a single 8-week use cycle, there were 3 from different companies. They're just, it's like, that's not a relevant song to me. That's not a relevant song to a lot of people. Like I know the song, but it doesn't like resonate in some emotional way.
Was it the same year that it came out in the Shrek movie?
No, this was 2000. This had to have been like 2016 or 17, maybe 2017. Doesn't matter. The whole thing with that is they were picking songs that they knew would resonate with the executives that they had to impress in order to get this ad placed. And then, well, great job. It was like Ogilvy or something. They can say like, well, we got these ads out there. They don't really have to present metrics about those ads. They just have to get the ad placed. And the only person saying yes or no on most of them is somebody who is out of touch with the market. Shrek 2's influence.
Would you like to tell us about the Shrek discovery you made recently?
I already made a video about it. I don't need to. I have spent this has been part of me like trying to recontextualize my relationship with the year 2001 because it was not a good year for me in particular, and it was a bad year for everybody. But also a lot of things that I really love happened in 2001. And so I've just been like slowly reabsorbing that. And yes, part of that was watching all of the Austin Powers movies immediately followed by Shrek. Because that's what a sane person does. That's what someone who is perfectly stable and isn't trying to not think about things does. It was that like, yeah, it was the whole thing of, I learned today that apparently Mike Myers did not originally do the Scottish accent for Shrek.
Oh, you didn't already know that?
I did not know.
Got all the way through the recording and then made them start over?
Wait a second, I have a great fucking idea. And he redid it and they said, oh no, it's better. And they reanimated whole sequences of the fucking movie, including inserting lines that like absolutely blows. But the fact that the better out than in, I always say, was apparently a Mike Myers ad lib, and the fact that they made a whole bit of it and animated things around just to get that stupid line in that movie. The power that Mike Myers held from 1999 until like 2003, for some reason, I don't know why. It was like something happened between Wayne's World and the last Austin Powers movie where we were like, you know who should be in charge of things? Mike Myers.
Right?
I think possibly Mike Myers may have just like caught on to the fact that Jeffrey Katzenberg would have put in like any amount of resources to make this movie happen. And he's just like, I can do whatever the fuck I want because this dude is just prepared to burn his whole life down making a movie to mock Disney.
I will never get over the fact that Shrek simply exists to spite Disney, and you know what? It kicked Disney's ass, and it is now in the Library of Congress. Like,
it's truly an incredibly culturally influential movie for a movie that is specifically just a hate comment about a company.
Spite is such a motivator, and I think we really underestimate how far some people will go just to spite someone. And Shrek really is like the prime example.
I've seen like a couple of video essays about how like other media companies have tried to like copy the format, like the formula of Shrek, and how it just completely doesn't work because Shrek like formulaically only works really specifically as a detailed and specific attack on the Disney Corporation.
Correct. That's why it's good. That I like it, and that's why it's one of those movies that like parents can also enjoy because parents can recognize this as being like fuck Disney the entire time. Yeah, I've been like just rewatching a lot of movies from 2001 to remind myself that like, oh yeah, this shaped a large chunk of my brain this entire year. Because that's also my fixated interest of Josie and the Pussycats. But then movies that I watched when I got a little bit older that also happened to come out that year of like Riding in Cars with Boys and what the fuck else was there on that list? A Knight's Tale.
Oh, that's a good one.
I fucking love A Knight's Tale. Is it a good movie? Probably not. I watched it and I had a great time. And sometimes
it's wonderfully average. You don't have to think. It's just
you don't
good.
gotta think.
Yeah.
It's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
Is it a bad movie? No. Is it a great movie? No. And that's kind of what we want.
Honestly, is it a great movie? It is not a great work of like cinema.
No, it's not cinema.
It is a great work of pop art.
Is an excellent piece of entertainment. Sometimes I just want to be entertained and I want Heath Ledger to entertain me. And that's it.
I will never get over the fact, and I can't remember where I've heard this. I've heard it from more than one place, but I don't know if like multiple people are just like citing the same apocryphal quote or some shit. There is one of the claims I've heard multiple times about that movie is that like the details that are not just like deliberately and wildly anachronistic are like some of the most accurate historical depictions of like shit in that world. Of like,
because it allows room for the humanity to come through because like people have always been funny and stupid,
right? But like they have shit in that movie that is like the people whose whole personality is nitpicking shit in historical movies look at that and go, yeah, no, this movie is fucking perfect. And then they also have the Stand singing "We Will Rock You" because Anachronism was a really funny and like interesting creative choice that they deliberately made, and they don't seem to have at any point not deliberately made the choice to be anachronistic.
No, it was always very, very purposeful. The whole movie is like pretty actually well planned and like intentionally thought out and well done. It's just like
it's good art. It's good art.
Is it serious art? No, fuck that. I don't. Sometimes, again, this is I am the.
I feel like
it doesn't need to be serious.
A Knight's Tale is in the field of film a similar creative accomplishment to in the field of sculpture, the banana duct tape to a wall.
I have processed that and I need to sit with it for a minute.
Like, it's not that deep.
It's not
you
that
probably
deep.
Understand what it's saying. Even the people who really hate it understand, and they just don't understand that the artist meant for them to understand it that way.
Yeah.
It just fucking nailed what it was trying to do.
I have a good time with it. It's a good time.
All right, so I've got an article in here that I've just my note for it is TikTok punishes crypto bros for being bad and wrong.
Finally. What did they do?
So this is an article with CNBC that is talking with crypto content creators who are complaining about getting kicked off the platform. And this is something we should maybe take seriously, because content creators getting kicked off for the kind of content they produce is something we should be concerned about, even if we don't like the content that's being kicked off, especially if it's like the people who make this content are unpleasant and the product is environmentally unsustainable, as opposed to these are fascists being kicked off the platform for being fascists. Like, basically what they're saying is accounts that give advice on how to succeed in cryptocurrency trading are getting kicked off on the basis that they are promoting, they are making ads for specific products without disclosing that fact. And it's,
I mean,
the article isn't super detailed, but the impression I've got is that the videos themselves are like, they are as much ads for specific crypto products as like accountants who have TikTok accounts are making ads for their OnlyFans pages.
Okay. I mean, I hate them. Like, honestly,
I hate them too.
I absolutely hate them. But like, to be completely honest, I would take their side. That hurts me.
Yeah.
Unless it is actually advertising, that doesn't sound like it's more of an ad than me mentioning makeup names when I do my makeup.
Yeah, and I think that's like sort of the point that I'm worried about here is
it doesn't set a good precedent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is continuing to build on the already bad precedent they set with sex workers.
Fair. There was never a good precedent. It was always bad. It's just
the precedent is your content is an ad if we don't like it.
Yeah, and that's not that's extremely uncomfortable, especially when, again, like, you have people whose entire accounts are just hauls. Like, they just buy things and come back with them and show you products. That's it. There are people who just do like product reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we got a passage here. When videos are pulled from TikTok, the creators say they get a notification that they violated community guidelines. Sometimes it notes that they posted content related to illegal activities and regulated goods. So that honestly sounds like it's not even TikTok isn't claiming. What TikTok have apparently been formally claiming is that they're advertising. But what that implies to me is they are associating cryptocurrency with purchasing illegal goods.
Yeah.
And just treating that as a necessary conclusion from the idea that you might be using cryptocurrency.
They're taking a very large leap. That's a really big leap to make. I don't like that shit at all. No, that's bad news, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell from my caption on that article, I absolutely would love to spend this time dunking on the crypto bros, but
it would be great. But actually, they are in fact getting wronged, and that's a little bit frustrating here.
Mm-hmm.
God, it's always the worst goddamn people. But this is I don't like that they've decided that they can make their own logical leaps.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the sex workers, when it was punishing sex workers for promoting their OnlyFans, that was also a logical leap of, this person is going to do illegal activity because they are doing this legal activity. And I'm trying to figure out how much legal hot water they are about to get themselves into if they keep doing that.
I don't think that was the leap they were making with the sex workers. I think the leap they were making with sex workers is our community guidelines say that you cannot promote sexually explicit content. If you have a TikTok account and you also have accounts where you sell sexually explicit content depicting yourself, then depicting yourself in a sexually provocative way on TikTok constitutes advertising that account.
And it's again, that's that other piece of that too, is that it doesn't even matter if it's true or not. It doesn't even matter like what the context is. If certain advertisers or people who are involved with anything to do with money, similarly to again, completely non sequitur, but completely similarly to what was going on with OnlyFans, where the people who actually process their transactions are saying, you know what, we don't want to process your transactions anymore. If anybody behind the scenes to do with the money says, okay, but there's any portion of your money to do with these things that we don't like, even though we know you either don't have control over it or you will never have perfect control over it, we're still going to ding you for that. What is it worth it to you to keep that content on your website? It's really stupid, and I don't like it. I understand it's what they're used to. It's the old school versus the new school stuff too. It's still however many years later, the business side of things, trying to make that transition from all of the analog business dealings to the digital business dealings. You cannot treat them the same. You can't. But they're still trying to figure out who's going to win. Ultimately, the digital everything is going to win. Like, they have to, because otherwise everything's just going to continue to get shut down. But the analog people are still like, well, we control it. And it sucks.
Yeah.
Following up from that question, I have a slightly more we had a hypothesis about why they were going after sex workers, and it's because they were courting the Waltons. Do we have a hypothesis for why they are targeting cryptocurrency?
My hypothesis is because it's not an official sanctioned money, so it's not a U.S. dollar or a Canadian dollar or an Australian dollar, or what have you.
Why do they care about that? Why do we think they care about that?
Well, because they can't get that profit. Then
I wouldn't.
They want you to keep the money in their monetary systems, not go into these other ones.
So what I'm wondering is if they are if they're making that so on the assumption that they are making the leap between someone is doing this legal activity and then they might use this money to do an illegal thing, because you can use Bitcoin to do that. I'm wondering if they are making the assumption that some of these currencies that people are promoting might not be operating fully above board. And I'm also wondering if this has anything to do with their payout or payment processing people. Because I know Chase at least views cryptocurrency as a little bit off. And they're not interested in working with it, and they're not interested in, they're kind of holding it at arm's length.
But we know not every money brand is treating it like that. Like Venmo is actively promoting cryptocurrency options right now.
But that's what I'm wondering. They don't use Venmo. You can't pay out to Venmo. You can only pay out to PayPal. So I'm wondering if PayPal has anything about that right now. Because I don't know of anything going on behind the scenes at TikTok, like major leadership change. Like I have not looked into it recently. But
PayPal has a crypto portal.
And I don't know. We'd have to look into it. And we'd potentially have to look into these users, because there is the possibility that, like, if one of the cryptos that they were interested in or talking about ended up kind of getting shut down in some way.
It's possible this CNBC article, the journalist might just not know how to recognize sketchy behavior on TikTok.
It's distinctly possible. Yeah, I kind of want to check out these people and figure out what's going on there, and if this is really something. Like, surface level, this is very concerning. But I'm not familiar. I obviously am not into crypto because I can't stand the people. But if we look deeper into it and it's just very sketchy behavior on TikTok, then I don't know.
But, like, they're not to the point of, like, TikTok doesn't profit from it. TikTok also doesn't profit from, like, financial advice given by the Planet Money account.
No.
Like,
I don't think it's a profit issue. And if it's not a payment processing issue or wherever they're doing their banking kind of issue, then I do not know where it's coming from. But it's something I can look into.
Yeah, what I'm looking for, what I'm interested in finding is who among TikTok's investors might be pressuring them to put pressure on this community?
Let's find out. I mean, I'm not going to find out right now, but
Yeah.
Google
who's putting pressure on TikTok to crack down on crypto.
Okay,
there we go.
They're funded by Sequoia Capital. I know Sequoia. Okay. Wow, working in finance for 5 whole years really makes you know things you don't want to know. Fucking hate it. Anyway, at least it's not like BlackRock. Jesus Christ. Are there any other news articles that we want to really talk about? Oh, actually, I did. So TikTok, we kind of got like a whiff of TikTok like rolling out new like shopping options on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's officially rolled out a relationship with Shopify. So someone in the Toka Discord noticed that there's 2 search buttons now. And it's very likely that the bottom bar search button is going to turn into possibly some kind of like shopping or marketplace option like there is on Instagram. And that's the good news is that it doesn't seem to have a limit. Like you can be a small business with 500 whole followers. And if you do your stuff through Shopify, you can list your stuff on TikTok. So that's, at least there's not that problem of like there being a really ridiculously high bar for entry or something like that. But of course, this is going to dramatically change everyone's relationship with the content they're being given. And that's specifically because it's just going to allow people to tag things in their videos as something you can click and go purchase. So it's the ability to covertly advertise to people and not even have them realize it is very, very, very high. And I've had bad experiences with TikTok getting rid of your like sponsored flag, getting rid of your branded content flag, getting rid of like hashtag ad in your description. So everyone just needs to be very, very careful with the content they make. And you have to say, this video is sponsored by, or this video was an ad for, because sometimes TikTok deletes your hashtag that would save you.
I've had 2 ads come across my feed, one of which was that one by, I think his name is Justin, with that Maybelline one, because I was just sitting here like, wow, what's going on here? And then, because I saw a weird caption or text on the video, and it was him, but like it felt a little bit different too. And that's when I started looking through those hashtags or whatever. So I tried to figure out what was going on, and like it's posted on his profile, but it's also like the way that it came up on my For You page was really funky, and it would only take me to the ad site. It wouldn't actually like let me go to his profile.
Yeah.
And I was like, gross. I also have some like Dungeons and Dragons targeted dice ad that keeps showing up, because the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, that's a really sweet animation. What could this possibly be about? And I was expecting it to, turn into a talking head, bring it up like, oh, there's some cool new like game or movie or something. No.
It's just an ad.
No, just this weird, oddly elaborate dragon eye coming up out of a pile of gold to sell me dice. No.
To be fair, would I buy the dice from the Dice Dragon? Maybe a little bit.
Probably.
Would I buy dice from a real Dice Dragon? Yes. Would I buy dice from a company that can afford an animator? No.
No.
Probably not.
No, I'll just go to Etsy and get more really cute pink ones.
The thing that I do, like, listen, do I want TikTok to crash and burn as a platform? No. But do I want TikTok to understand that the way in which to monetize the platform is not to allow people to like click on little things and shop directly on the platform? Yeah. Like I'm very, very against this level of integration. I would be very happy if TikTok would just simply say something along the lines of like, you know what? If you have a business, we will not punish you when people leave to go shop at your business, or we'll punish you a little bit less.
Yes.
We'll let you say the word Patreon.
Yeah.
How about that? I think there are other steps that they could take that are less alienating for the user than turning things into ads that might not have been ads before.
Throw me a freaking bone here.
I'm going to look at TikTok and I'm not going to know what app I'm looking at, and I'm going to hate it. Rolling it out just in time for Christmas.
Also, just throwing it out there while we're talking about things that I wish we could do on TikTok. It'd also be great if you could use other browsers clicking through from TikTok.
Oh, that's what made me so angry the other day too, because on some other thing that was a stupid ad, I hopped into this ad accidentally because I was trying to get it to expand the text box because it was so cut off. It immediately brought me to an app page, and on that app page, or that page, excuse me, the advertisement page, it said open in browser. So these absolute nightmare people said, okay, we can code that in there for advertisers, but we can't code open in your own browser on everything else.
Yep.
Obviously, I'm feeling all kinds of things about it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely deliberately withheld. And also, Barnaby, I agree, is so much. It's so well set up to have just like up to 4 people there.
Mm-hmm.
They've
done 3 people.
Yeah, there are some people have the option to do 3.
I think it's over in like UK and Ireland territory, because what Ranch Girl, whatever her name is, Dawn Farmer, maybe. Ranch Girl has got multiple lives.
The English girl who tried ranch and it changed her life.
Yes, but then now she like doesn't do lives hardly at all anymore because people just started mass reporting it so bad. So she's like, okay, got to dial that back too.
All right, we are past 9, and I am starting to fade, so I am going to call the stream here.
Sure.
Thank you all for coming. I feel like this is a really productive stream, and we're going to be aiming to do these news updates probably every week. This will be what the Monday stream is, because we've finally got TikTok news alerts coming to our TikTok inbox, or our Toka inbox. So we're just like gathering those up, and we will be able to report on them. We're also going to be putting together a newsletter very soon, and we will have links for that probably next week. Thank you all for watching, and good night.